So it was 108 adult males, 4 adult females, and 4 calves.
Okay.
So it was nearly all adult males that came into the program last winter during that historic migration.
And there's a lower threshold, right, for the amount of time that you have to hold the males in quarantine than the females. What's the difference there?
You know, this group was held for 300 days. So they came in last winter, which would have been during February and March, during that record migration that we had. And we moved them to Fort Peck in February. So it was just over 300 days. The females will need to be in the program for that length of time, but then also breed and calve and raise that calf to 6 months of age. So it takes a female 2.5 to 3 years to clear the program.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's a little longer than I thought. So historically, you've then been able to send more males than females just because of that time difference, right?
We're about even to date of sending about the same number of males and females, because we haven't necessarily brought them into the park in the same ratio each winter. To decide what we would bring into quarantine, we meet with the Assiniboine Sioux at Fort Peck and the Intertribal Buffalo Council to determine, like, what type of animal would you like us to bring into the program if the migration allows for that this particular winter.
Okay. So how did the transfer go this past week?
It went great. Given that it's winter in Montana, maybe it's not winter this year, it went as well as it could go. Over the course of 3 days, we moved 116 bison up there using 2 semi-trucks and 4 horse trailers.
All right. And did you hit weather on the way up?
You know, a little bit. We're kind of trying to stay in front of the weather. We had some freezing rain and some ice fog up in northeast Montana. So we wound up shipping some of the animals overnight in order to get in front of the weather that was coming in.
And when you got up to Fort Peck, what happens? What's the procedure there?
It takes a few minutes. You know, you can just imagine these animals that were born in the wildness of Yellowstone, been moved into a corral for the last 300 days. Now they've just been on a truck for 500 miles. So typically the animals, because all of the animals are on the truck, don't like to leave the truck. You know, they stay with the comfort of the rest of the herd. But over time, so when we get up there, we pull up the trucks, we open the back gates, and it takes usually a couple of hours for the animals to come off their trucks.
Do they come off on their own, or do you have to encourage them?
You know, usually it's a mixture of a little bit of both. If you can step away and allow the animals to explore their way off, that always works the best. But sometimes not all the animals come off.
And then when they get unloaded, once they're off the trucks, what happens to them at the reservation?
The animals are offloaded into an assurance testing facility that's approved by USDA and it's approved by the state of Montana. It's a certified facility that can hold these animals for 1 additional year. So they will stay in this approximate 300-acre facility. At the end of 1 year, they'll be tested one final time for brucellosis, at which point Fort Peck will work with the Intertribal Buffalo Council to distribute those animals to other tribes. To date, we've brought 414 animals to Fort Peck since 2019. Roughly 300 of those animals have now been moved to 26 other tribes, from as far away as Alaska to Michigan to Kansas.
Do you have any say in that? Does the park have any say in how those animals are portioned out after they arrive at Fort Peck?
You know, our say is telling the Assiniboine and Sioux at Fort Peck that these are your animals to take care of in assurance testing, and these are your animals to decide how you would like to distribute them to Indian country.
And what kind of feedback do you get from the other tribes or places, parks, preserves, whatever, that the animals go to? Do they ever talk to you and let you know what's going on?
They do sometimes, and all of the stories are very similar. Usually people send a picture too, and there's almost always pictures of buffalo getting off trucks, or in some cases boats, or in other cases planes. And there's members of the tribe present, there's families, there's children, there's elders, and it's generally a celebratory event. Tribes have waited a long time to receive live Yellowstone bison. These are the last animals that were the members of the last wild herd on this planet. So being able to bring those animals back to tribal areas means a ton to the people who live there.
And can you tell me a little bit about where the program's going in the future? I was here last summer when you introduced the expanded facilities in Stevens Creek. What's that going to allow you to do down the road, and how far down the road are we talking about?
The program was symbolic at first. In 2019, we brought the first 55 bulls, 55 males, to the Fort Peck area. And we realized at the same time thousands of animals had been shipped to slaughter. So we expanded the facility, and we worked with USDA APHIS and the state of Montana to abbreviate the burden of testing, or the amount of time that animals spend in quarantine. So today, we can move 100 to 300 animals into the facility to begin this process every winter. For comparison, prior to this winter, less than 300 animals had been moved to Fort Peck since 2019. So we are now operating at least 4 times that capacity. Our hope is that it becomes one of the primary tools for managing numbers of bison in the park. It won't be the only tool, but it will be an important, meaningful, and impactful way to manage animals in this park.
So does that mean that 3 years down the line, I guess, for the cows, and about a year or so for the bulls, that we'll be seeing numbers that are like 250 or 300 going out?
There's a really good chance that in 2 winters from now, we will be moving over 300 animals from here to the Assiniboine and Sioux. That was largely due to last year's record migration, when we brought 282 animals into the program. So the first 100 or so just went. Those were the males. Now we have the females that are still in the facility today. Once those animals calve, that will mean close to 300 animals in, that'd be 2026 or late in 2025, heading to Fort Peck.
And let's talk a little bit about the weather. So we had last winter, which was, I think, if I remember right from our weather guys, like the 4th snowiest winter that we've ever had. We had lots of animals moving out of the park. I mean, more than 1,000, probably more than 1,500 down in the Gardner Basin. This year, we don't have that at all. We've got a really light snow winter. So how do you accommodate that curve, that going up and down like that? Does it just mean some years you're just not going to have very many animals to work with?
That's exactly right. Nature should dictate what happens here in Yellowstone as much as possible. We would love the population to fluctuate, like the grizzly bear, like the wolf, like the mountain lion, like the elk population, to fluctuate naturally over time. We strive for that in this park. However, bison are a little bit different. So in addition to those natural fluctuations, we have to provide some population assurances. The first assurance is that we can't let this population get too small. We need to work with our partners, which include tribes, the state of Montana, other federal entities, to try to ensure that this bison population remains above 3,000 animals, because we know that that will protect the genetic integrity of the herd. On the other end, we need to provide some assurance to the people who live outside of this park, to the working lands people of Paradise Valley, and to the state, that there's an upper end. So when the population is near the upper limit, which proven through the last several years has been somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 animals, when we get near that upper limit, we need to take action to decrease the population when the animals migrate.
Speaking of populations, do you have any early estimates yet of where the population may be after calving this spring?
So we're probably about 4,500 animals right now. I would imagine we'd be in the low to mid 4,000s at the end of winter if no animals migrate. If animals migrate and there are harvests outside of the park, if animals are placed into the Bison Conservation Transfer Program, what we're talking about today, or if animals are sent to slaughter, it would lower that number below that, which puts us probably around 5,500 animals at the higher end next summer. But we just need to wait and see. Either way, the population will be within a range where we have successfully worked with the state and tribes and other agencies to manage migrations out of the park. We're not going to be in some uncharted territory, although the weather might be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my next question is, how does that compare with like your all-time high number in recent years, like the last 30 years or so?
And so we've averaged around 4,900 animals over the last 10 years. We're right there right now. So we're not far from where we've been. 2 years ago, we were as high as 5,800 or 5,900 bison.
Okay. All right. Back to the tribe. Up at Fort Peck, are they going to have to expand their facility a little bit when they get 300 instead of 116 bison in about 2 years?
It's a great question. We are trying to build a pipeline, sharing the stewardship, sharing the work with tribes. I would envision that modifications and expansion will happen at Fort Peck, or will have to happen at Fort Peck, in order to accommodate the number of animals that could be going there in the near future. I mean, Fort Peck has a very unique and important role. They have only kept 15 of the animals that have been transferred to them since this program began. So really, they are working to steward those animals for the 1 year that they're there, and then move them to other tribes and other conservation areas across this country. They're going to need a little help as we move more and more animals up there.
How do they get that help?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, all right, maybe check in with them on that.
That's probably a really good idea.
So 15 animals over the years, but I thought they had a little larger herd of their own there.
They do. So to be clear, operational quarantine. So when the park started capturing bison to send them live to tribes once they've been declared brucellosis free, something that began in 2019. So since that time, Fort Peck has kept 15 animals, but they already had a Yellowstone origin herd prior to that point. And that herd came from animals that were captured in this park in around 2006 and 2008. And those animals were originally given to Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks and to USDA in order to test out the quarantine procedures and figure out what is actually necessary to ensure that once you've tested these bison to a certain point, they are no riskier than moving cattle out of this DSA in terms of introducing brucellosis somewhere. So they received the graduates of that early study and created a cultural herd. But since 2019, they've mostly just been a distributor and steward of these Yellowstone animals.
And I know one time, maybe it was a year ago, maybe it was a little longer ago than that, we talked a little bit about a brucellosis vaccine. Have there been any advancements made in recent years for that?
Not to my understanding. There have been very few advances made on brucellosis vaccines. Perhaps the largest advance, it wasn't on vaccine, but it was on understanding how wild systems like Yellowstone work. A couple of years ago, the National Academy of Sciences reviewed how we've been managing bison and elk and brucellosis. And they determined that what we're doing with bison, largely controlling them in the park, having certain areas they can be outside of the park, managing for the numbers that we have, and using quarantine to identify brucellosis-free bison, all of those measures provide incredible protection to the livestock industry. And on the other side, those protections don't exist for wild elk in this ecosystem. So until we can make progress on vaccines, wild elk, ways to treat that, the fact that elk are spreading brucellosis away from the Yellowstone area, we're good to go on bison. That is not what is the risk or the threat to the local livestock industry.
I've seen online some speculation that the elk elk in Yellowstone pick up brucellosis from the bison and then spread it outside the park. Do your studies show that?
Work by USGS, which studies the bacteria that are found in elk or bison or livestock, and kind of do a family tree of those bacteria. Where did you come from? Show that both elk give brucellosis to bison, and bison also give brucellosis to elk in this ecosystem.
Okay. One last thing. You're up at Fort Peck. You were up there last week. You saw the animals get off the trucks. And how do you feel about that?
I really appreciate being invited to Fort Peck. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to see other people sharing the work, sharing the stewardship of trying to recover the most valuable bison population left on this planet. So I look forward to getting up there, and those last 19 miles out of Wolf Point, getting up to the facility, I usually get butterflies in my stomach, get pretty excited.